Right now, the National Hurricane Center is tracking 4 more storm systems in the Atlantic. Meanwhile, in Washington, more than 60 House Democrats have signed on to a letter urging Speaker Mike Johnson to, quote, immediately call Congress back into session to pass more disaster funding. But Johnson so far is not budging. Joining us now, Florida Congressman Jared Moskowitz. He previously served as director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management. Thank you very much for joining us. First off, how is your district dealing with this right now? How are they doing?
Sure, thanks for having me. My district is okay. I'm in South Florida, although I do think what Milton will go down in history being known for is the tornadoes. We had 126 tornado warnings here in Florida. That's a record. 45 tornadoes. Touchdown, that's also a record. You know, the 126 tornado warnings is only beat by the Alabama tornado outbreak of 2011. So these tornadoes hit in areas that, you know, weren't getting tropical storm force winds, weren't anywhere near where the hurricane was here on the East Coast, but we're getting some outer bands. And that is something that we have talked about here in the state about you got to pay attention to these tornadoes. And this storm proved it. We're okay, but where I'm at, but some areas in St. Lucie County and in Palm Beach County got hit pretty hard.
It was a volatile storm system. Congress is on recess until November 12th. We here at NBC News asked Speaker Mike Johnson about his decision to not call Congress back to pass immediate relief funding. Here's what he told us.
Mr. Speaker, was it a mistake to leave and adjourn the Congress for the campaign trail without addressing more disaster relief funding, given the circumstances that we now find ourselves in?
Well, the fact is, I think that many people have not fully understood, is that we did address it, and we did appropriate $20 billion additional dollars to FEMA with early drawdown authority. So they're sitting on a giant pile of cash, and they haven't used it yet. As of Monday of this week, the Biden administration had only sent out about 1% of those dollars. They'd only distributed 1%. So there's plenty of money to address the immediate needs, and that's what we're counting on them and calling upon them to do.
Is that right, that there's a ton of money that FEMA has that it's sitting on and not using?
Well, he's kind of right. Okay, so first of all, he didn't appropriate any additional dollars. He used the word additional. What he did is instead of giving FEMA the money they needed to complete the 2024 year budget, because the disaster relief fund ran out of money, they originally were going to give FEMA $10 billion as part of the CR, but then the speaker stripped that out. Instead, what they said is you can start drawing money down from your 2025 budget early, which did give FEMA money. So he's right there, gave them $20 billion. So he's kicking the problem down the line. Now, what he didn't say is out of that $20 billion, $8 billion is already committed because FEMA has $8 billion of expenses from previous storms to reimburse that was on hold. So they have $12 billion, $12 billion to finish the 2024 season and for all of the 2025 season. By the way, we're not out of hurricane season, but they're going to spend a lot of that money in the Hurricane Helene response and in the Hurricane Milton response. And again, we're not out of hurricane season. He's also not right because he doesn't address the SBA. Small Business Administration, which gives out community disaster loans, is out of money. They don't have enough money to do both Milton and Helene. And that's the money that gets these small business, family-owned businesses through their community disaster because their communities right now are closed. And so I'm worried about the SBA not having enough money. He knew that problem before we went on break. Listen, I know why the speaker doesn't want to call us back. He doesn't want to call us back because he can't pass that bill without the Democrats. His caucus is such a mess. He doesn't have the vote. So I don't blame him, right? If I had that caucus, I wouldn't call them back either.
So you're saying this is all politics and what's being left behind are people?
Oh, I'm shocked. I'm shocked 3.5 weeks before the election. It's all politics. Who would have thought?
Jared Moskowitz, very dry. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
You got it. Thank you.